Hi, everybody. I wanted to share a story with you from my recent experience, which seems to be the theme of my blog, so bear with me. Um, I had a really challenging weekend. Probably one of my lowest lows in years. It was pretty crazy. And I just was just like really distraught about several things, work things and relationship things, and it kind of all came to a head. And I found myself just like this babbling, mess in my bed, crying, and not really wanting to take on life anymore. I was just exhausted. And in that moment, I thought of my son. I thought of Logan and how much light he brings into my life, and that was my thing. That was the thing that kind of got me out of it and made me start smiling. So I wanted to share first of all that part with you. Have something like that. Have that person that you can call, or that memory, or whatever it might be that just kind of helps pull you out of it. Not that you still can't have that rough moment or still have that time to release and let the tears fall. But remember, as Panache Desai says, it's just salty water. It's just tears. Release it with love, and then start getting yourself back to where where you should be. Um, so that was one thing that was helpful for me, is if I think of Logan, if I'm having like the worst day at work or whatever, that brings it home for me. Sometimes people go, oh, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. And yeah, that's another way that you can think about it. But I like to just like raise the vibration completely, not thinking about, oh, the worst case scenario could be, but thinking about, wow, this is one awesome kid and he makes me laugh. And it could be the silliest little story or whatever, but that's what brings me back up. So I had my moment, and I was like, really distraught, and I didn't want to go to work. I didn't, I just was just, so basically I heard this message and it said, just show up. Just show up. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be like gung-ho, take charge, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to just take this life by the horns and I'm going to rock it out. Yeah, that's where we'd like to be, but some days you just need to show up and trust and believe, because there are angels and there are people and these greater forces that will show up and they will get you through the day. And those sometimes are the moments where your faith just grows that much stronger. You just, it's even more than that. It's faith in yourself. It's just that, I don't know. It's like that's what really strengthens just that remembrance of your soul and who you really are and where you really came from, because you just show up and you trust and you believe. So if you're having a hard time, remember, you can just show up. It's okay. Put a smile on, just kind of, sometimes you just gotta like go through it, and then do the healing. Take the time when you can, but sometimes we gotta keep going to work. Sometimes we have an appointment or whatever it might be, and we gotta keep moving on, and that's okay. That was really a good just awakening for me that I experienced. So then I started reading this book called E Squared. Really interesting book. And I've been going through car dilemmas, and I was in that was one of my stressors, was money. And even though I know that I don't want to put fear around the abundance that I'm attracting, and I don't want to approach it that way, there was still some like real life circumstances that were happening. And one was I was in a lease that was ridiculous, and I needed to get out of it. But I was fearful, like, oh my gosh, I'm in a contract, and how am I going to do this, and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I decided to have faith. I'm reading E Squared, and the first chapter talks about this field of infinite possibilities, and how, there's an experiment where they tell you, challenge out there and say, I'm asking you to show me a sign. I'm putting my faith out there, and I want to see it within 48 hours, and you write it down. And so I wrote down my challenge, and I was just asking for a sign. I flipped to the next chapter, and I wasn't even going to read it. I just was just flipping to it just to put the book onto the next chapter. So when I started reading it, it was there. And it's called, I don't know if you could see it. Yeah. The Volkswagen Jetta. Bam! Seriously, I'm reading a book and the title of it is The Volkswagen Jetta. That was my sign. I went out the next day. I test drove a few Jettas. I found one, and it's a diesel, and it's got great gas mileage. It's in great shape, new tires, like awesome deal, and it's cute. And the next day I bought it. and got rid of that heavy lease that was like weighing me down and that crazy payment. And now I doubled my gas mileage and I just let go. I let go of the stress of making that decision. I trusted and I just handed it over and said, wow, that's a pretty clear sign. I'm not going to question it. So when you ask for answers and you get them, believe it, own it, and just move forward. Obviously it's not like every scenario is going to pan out and be like magic, and this is just angels singing and it's the perfect decision, but you're going down the guided path. You're listening to that divine guidance, and that's part of the lesson. So we're going to pull a card. I thought that was a really cool experience. I've had some other ones like that too recently. It's just crazy. It's just been awesome. And feel free to share yours if you've been having any of those, or if you ever have. Okay, we're going to pull one of Living Your Purpose Affirmation cards by Sunny Dawn Johnston. And it says, today I share my love, joy, passion, and talents with the world. We should all be doing that every day, right? I think that's a great one. I love that one. Every day we are doing that. Except for those one days where we just have to show up. But even then, you can still be sharing that passion because you're like, hey, I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm having a rough day, but I'm here. So that's still another way to kind of show your love and joy. And we're going to pick one more. Messages from your angels. This one, for some reason, I have all these this way, and this one pops up as patience. Maybe that's a sign to me. All right, here we go. Archangel Michael. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. Oh, I love it. Look at this. Isn't that just so peaceful and lovely? Okay, so he's with you. Ask him for help. Ask him. I need some divine guidance. I'm a human being right now, and I need you to kind of help me along, and I'm ready to show up. I'm ready to show up wherever that might be. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to trust, and it's going to be all good, and all is well in your world. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great week. It's Wednesday. Yay! And I will join you next week. Bye. Keep smiling.